take out the only defender that had a chance there, and the Terps are up 2-0 with a minute gone in this game.
Certified good guy JD Knight right there, as he could have easily taken that goal for himself. Did a little bit of glory hunting, but instead he gets that demo, gets rid of any kind of threat on that shot. Goes right home for miss. What a start to this game, only a minute in.
Yeah, and JD Knight's there flying towards the ball to try and get the Terps going again, but it's cleared off the backboard by Big Soupy. Now Maryland's going to have to try and contest the middle here as JD Knight gets a 50 with Thick Soup that pops that ball center. Fruck puts it goal side, but he didn't have enough boost to make it too much of a problem. Ball back in, though, and now misses up. He misses the double tap. It was a good way for the Terps to keep the pressure up, though, as Fruck pressures for a hit again, but Big Soupy there to make the stop.
Yeah, Maryland are swarming right now. The Terps are everywhere across this field. It looks like ball chasing almost to the untrained eye, but when it's this level of competition, they all know what they're doing. This is just good rotations, out-rotating WKU, and that is why this lead is as it is right now, and it could grow very easily.
Yeah, it's been a physical one, too. Fruck got the demo there, and we're seeing JD Knight just dancing around in the front right corner of the field. Now he'll have to defend. He manages to run into a teammate on that hit, but he's going to get the 50 in the corner. That'll allow Big Soupy to get a nice little clear, though. Missed. Sat under it, however. He goes under one defender, tries to wrap it around the other, but Hot Pot there for the stop.
That trick can only last so long, and right now JD Knight's looking dangerous on goal. Does go a little bit wide, too much pressure from the WKU defenders, but yeah, I like the trickeration coming out from the Terps early. Once again, this lead is 2-0, and I mean, it's not just from simple plays. They've been playing together very well thus far. Even if not scoring the most goals in the world, they've still been playing great.
Yeah, it's been impressive to see, and the way that these Terps have maintained the pressure. JD Knight puts that ball center, but with a demo from Hot Pot, that's Western Kentucky relieving the pressure for the first time in a while, but it goes off the crossbar in the end. A perfect opportunity for Western Kentucky to try and get back into this, but instead, down the other end, missed, makes them pay off a 50 from JD Knight to make it 3-0.
You can see just how quickly a mistake or a missed shot transitions into offense there, as that shot did go off of the post, gets sent up the field, and a good pass leads to another. That is a stellar goal for the Terps to increase the lead to 3.
Yeah, Maryland is rolling in this one. 2 minutes to go, up 3-0. Big Soupy's going to have a chance trying to get it off the backboard. Doesn't quite get the touch he wants. Maryland misses the clear. Mist is able to follow up. That's a little bit of pressure from Western Kentucky, just making it a little difficult for Mist, but he puts the ball center for Thick Soup to come in, swipe it away. What can the Hilltoppers do now? Fruck goes up in the air for the contest on his defensive end. That was an impressive showing from him. And now Western Kentucky's going to try and piece something together with very little boost.
The problem is, though, with Western Kentucky right there, that looked like their best chance all game, but it really didn't look like much. They haven't been able to string passes together enough because, once again, Maryland is swarming everywhere. That's a great shot on goal. No dice. Good save coming out from Thick Soup, I believe it was. Pressure is not gone, though, yet.
No, Western Kentucky's going to have to really work on getting their clears to work better than they have so far, as Fruck beats one there, goes on top of the next challenge, demos the keeper, but no Maryland player is there to make him really pay.
Does not really matter too much, especially when JD Knight is right there to send the ball up the field. Miss was already there, trying to get a cheeky touch from above the goal, send that one right in. No dice, but I like the, once again, trickeration. I like the creativity coming out from Maryland. This is a strong showcase for game one.
Yeah, JD Knight looked like he was trying to go for some fake challenges there. He ends up just stalling for time, as now 34 seconds with the Hilltoppers trying to push towards Maryland's end, but Fruck in the places he needs to be all game, does it once again there.
Yeah, it's a positioning gap. If you have to boil it down to anything, it's been a positioning and a rotations gap for Maryland. There haven't even really been crazy mechanics, as we're seeing something crazy come out right here. What a touch! Great attempt on goal. But yeah, it's been the macro plays here, the positioning, the rotations that Maryland that's gotten this lead for them, and right now it's going to be an end to game one, as Maryland will take it 3 to potentially 1, but 3-0 will be the final score. What a game one.
Yeah, 3-0, and MVP of the game, Mist, coming in from at home. You know, maybe that's just where these Terps work better. It's another argument for the work from home agreement that we had as a society about 6 years ago, but what we're seeing right now from the Terps is they are at home on that field. They look comfortable right now. They look better than this Western Kentucky team. Hot Pot looks like the player that's going to be causing the Terps a little bit of trouble over the Soup pair, but realistically, I mean, everything we saw there from Maryland was good.
Yeah, that was a good game. That was a tightly played game from Maryland. It looked like WKU just couldn't keep up. Maryland looked faster. They looked better. They looked stronger, more physical. And in game 2, we'll see if they can keep that up.
Yeah, Maryland wins a faceoff to get it started in the right direction. JD Knight off the backboard, but that's Hot Pot there to make the clearance for Western Kentucky. Miss follows it up, puts a looping effort towards the goal, but saved by the Hilltoppers, who will now have to try and get a clear to go. You get past JD Knight, but he's still there. Pestering defense. Big Soupy has to go for a creative hit around, but he's got not enough boost to make them really pay. And now Maryland down the other end.
And that was already the best opportunity that WKU has had this series. I don't know if they had a more dangerous chance than that in game 1. Right now, they're really applying the pressure to Maryland. Right there, that is a good team goal, passing it down the field. Hot Pot putting that one away, a pass to himself rather, putting it away. That is a good play coming out from WKU to set this to try and set the tone in game 2.
Yeah, certainly it took 2 bounces off the little angled part of the side wall that just put the ball in an awkward spot for Fruck. He couldn't make the difference, but the Terps are only 40 seconds into this game. Plenty of time to turn things around.
For sure, but you can tell that WKU has come out differently in this game too. Once again, they've had way better opportunities thus far. Maryland have been looking like the flustered team if you had to pick one. But, I mean, once again, like you said, there are still 4 minutes left. And right now, Maryland are going to try to make something happen off of this wall.
Yeah, JD Knight beats his defender in the near post side. Hot Pot tries to defend, but he runs out of boost. That's going to get centered for Maryland. And a demo from Mist as JD Knight lays down the hammer.
I think that was a complete team play right there as Mist passes it off the wall. He gets there to demo JD Knight with a great mid-air adjustment to make that touch. Fruck was there to put it home if that missed as well. I like the way that the Terps are rolling together in this game too.
Yeah, you heard that. Life is a highway. The Terps going to be trying to cruise after this one as JD Knight gets the ball in the corner, tosses it towards Mist, but that's blocked by Hot Pot. Made a big play coming out from his goal there, and it paid off for them. Now 50 gets the ball in the middle of the field for Maryland to defend, but JD Knight gets it away, and Thick Soup misses. That's going to give Mist a chance to take a touch, but now Big Soupy throws the ball towards the net. It's off target, but JD Knight makes sure to get it away.
Yeah, this game has begun quick, fast, and in a hurry, Nolan, as it is already 1-1. Goals coming out only a minute and a half in, roughly, and I like the way that this, I mean, just as a spectator, I like the way that this game has looked. A lot more high-octane action like we're used to. WKU has really been getting themselves back into this one.
Yeah, they're going to have a little bit of confidence from the way they started, but Maryland is doing everything it can to lay on that second goal as Fruck gets the chance, and he goes top left. No stopping that shot from that close, and the Terps take the lead back.
What a shot. And once again, what a team play. That is the kind of, that's the indicative, that is indicative of how the series has gone, at least this game as well, because all of these goals have been so dependent on the team play. There's been really no individual efforts yet.
Yeah, no, this Maryland team has been able to put things together, but now we'll see what the Hilltoppers can do. Thick Soup takes it off the left wall. He beats one, but gets bumped, so he doesn't get the touch he wants. JD Knight gets a 50 that just tosses it towards the Terps' goal, but missed there for the all-important touch to clear it away.
Yeah, and you can see that the rotations coming out from WKU, they're much closer, much more present on the ball this game. I mean, even though they are down, this is a much better showcase than in game 1. Mist will try to get something going up the field, but WKU has to be feeling some type of better, as you know, of course, compared to that game 1.
Yeah, what we're seeing from them is doing a lot better job of keeping the ball out of their zone. It felt like it stayed there for practically 2 minutes in a row in this game 1, but this one's been a lot more back and forth like you alluded to. And now we're going to see the Hilltoppers off on a chance again as Hot Pot throws the ball towards the front left corner. Fruck defends for his goal. That's a bit of a center from one Soup, but the other doesn't have the boost to go up for it. Now going to be forced into the save, which he makes. Looked like he almost pinched the ball with Hot Pot there to get it away from the Maryland attacking side. But now JD Knight gets the ball off the top of the wall, and he just lays that in.
An unsavable opportunity here if you're Big Soupy in net. What do? You have to try and make some kind of guess. But, I mean, it's just too difficult, too tough, especially when the shot comes in that quick. like that, and that is a good play for the Terps to go up, double their lead right there.
Yeah, always important to throw the ball towards the back of the car. It's much harder for these Rocket League cars to go backwards than it is to go forwards. In the air, as Mist goes up in the air for that, can't get the second touch off the backboard, but Fruck tosses it up to Mist. Fruck gets the demo. Mist scores the goal. The Terps are rolling now.
And this is the Maryland team that we're all accustomed to, at least from that first game. They are rolling. Once again, they're swarming to the ball. And just rough positioning from WKU as really nobody was even in their own half to defend that shot.
Yeah, it's a great play, nevertheless, from the Terps, though, as they now take a 3-goal lead with 90 seconds left in this one. We'll see what Western Kentucky can do, but only 1 goal so far on the series. It's going to take a lot for them to get themselves back into this game.
Yeah, and as it stands right now, Maryland have to be feeling very, very comfortable with the lead they've amassed. This is the same exact lead that they gathered for themselves in Game 1, and right there, that is a good attempt to get it into this half, get some pressure from WKU, but nothing is flying in the half of Maryland. I like the way that they're playing. They've come out a lot stronger in the second half of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. They're doing their best to make it a no-fly zone as Mist hits the air to get a 50 down to Fruck, but Western Kentucky is there to make that save.
And I like that. We'll look at this. This is a big opportunity right there. And Mist is there to try and follow up, but a great save coming out from Big Soupy. Unfortunate for Maryland, but you have to give credit where credit is due, Nolan. That was a stellar play.
Yeah, absolutely exceptional. That's the sort of thing that can change momentum as Big Soupy goes up, but Mist is there to make the save to preserve the 3-goal advantage. Now, Mist has his own chance for a little dribble. Oh, he burns the defenders there. That's 5-1 Terps now.
And you can't even call it humiliating because the level of these players is so high. Sometimes when you have the ball, you just have an advantage, I mean, in any kind of way. And you could see Mist right there taking advantage of that advantage, getting that goal. Nothing really that WKU could have done better there except guess, which is that's not something that you want to have to try and lean on.
Yeah, it's almost casual through that near side to just roll it around the defender. As Maryland now is really looking like they're going to take care of this game, barring any absolutely horrific collapse. That save from J.D. Knight should just about do it as the ball pops back towards the Western Kentucky end. The Terps win by 4 goals as things stand right now, with Mist putting it on the ground to take a 2-0 series lead.
Western Kentucky have to feel like some kind of benefit, some type of good from the first half of that game. They were playing, they were keeping up stride for stride with Maryland. They even went up early, but it looked like Maryland made those adjustments mid-game. That communication we were talking about in the pre-show with Mist, and I mean, what a good way to finish that game out. Ended up 5-1, a better lead than they took in the first one.
Yeah, 5 goals unanswered is always a good thing. You know, you almost felt the Hilltoppers trying to push that aggression a little bit more than they should have towards the back half of that game, getting in positions where they weren't necessarily able to make the stops. But now it is do or die. Western Kentucky has to win this game to keep this series going here today. Fruck pops it off the top. It gets a nice bounce down towards the front of that Hilltopper net, but away, and now Mist gets the chance to clear for another attack, but Big Soup there to make the stop. Fruck looks like he'll get the chance, but Thick Soup there to make a push, and he's getting aggressive on the ball. Western Kentucky tries to center it through Hot Pot, but Fruck's there to push it away.
And this is reminiscent of how the game, or game 2 rather, started. Right there, what a shot on goal. Good save, though. Good positioning. Good rotations, and that is another good shot attempt on goal. And another coming out from Fruck off of the miss from Mist, or maybe it was a pass off of the wall, Nolan. Either way, a goal goes onto the scoreboard, and Maryland are up very early into this one.
Yeah, if you ask Mist, he'll tell you that it's a pass, but frankly, either way, no matter how that happened, that was an excellent play for the Terps. Just keep the pressure up, keep banging it off the back, and eventually there's going to be an open man to take advantage.
Yeah, right here, Mist is all he's trying to keep the tempo, keep that pressure up. Nobody's home though to send that one home into the goal. Right now, it's in the middle. It's neutral right now. Fruck off of the wall, trying to get something going. That is a good attempt on goal from Thick Soup, but no dice.
Yeah, J.D. Knight getting an important touch there to try and delay the Hilltopper attack, as now Thick Soup goes to the corner, but J.D. Knight's there to clear. He and Big Soup seem to double on the ball. That's just a little bit of miscommunication from Western Kentucky that limits what they're able to do with this chance.
Yeah, but J.D. Knight is trying to take his own chance, and that is a good attempt at a redirect on goal from, I believe that was Fruck. Does not get it, but that would have been a lethal shot attempt had it made contact with the car.
Yeah, but that's a great clear off the backboard from the Hilltoppers. Miss grabs the full boost, waits in his left corner to collect. He lets JD Knight pop above him to get the 50. He tries to throw the ball past Big Soupy, but instead it falls down to JD Knight, who after the deflection from Thick Soup is going to get a chance to center this one. Just doesn't get the contact he wants, though.
It is so tough sometimes to get contact, to get a touch on the ball up high like that, especially when you have another car on you just pressuring you there. And right there, that is a good trying to dump it home right there. And that is exactly what I was saying, as Big Soupy's there to send that one home to even this game up. Good team play from Western Kentucky.
Yeah, talk about the aggression. JD Knight's just trying to take the ball across his goal, keep things calm, and start attack on the other side. Western Kentucky jumps that rotation, and they get the goal back, and we're tied here with 3 minutes and change left in the game.
I will say something that I've kind of taken away from these couple games is that Maryland look like they're winning almost all of these kickoffs. No matter what happens afterward, I think that they've been really having the advantage on these kickoffs, which is something that maybe is a little uncharacteristic of the team.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, in the end, Rocket League kickoffs have come down to a science in the last year or two. It feels as though, barring some marginal changes, there are simply right ways to do kickoffs, and they're a little bit more neutral typically, but no, Maryland has really dominated there, and they'll try and continue the domination here with a hit from JD Knight into the right corner, but Hot Pot's there to stop it. JD gets a bump, and Fruck pops it off the backboard, miss flying in, but hits the crossbar. JD Knight on the follow-up, bar down, and in.
And once again, he might be inclined to tell you that that was a pass, but no matter what, that is a goal onto the scoreboard to once again give Maryland the lead. And again, it's just these team plays, Nolan. They've been playing together, so both teams have been playing together pretty well, but Maryland getting themselves the edge right there with a stellar performance.
Yeah, that is a critical edge to get. You got to know, though, Miss is your lowest ranked player on the team. Theoretically, he is the one with your lowest skill set. If his shots that don't quite land, you are able to convert as a team. You are in an excellent place here.
That is something that I've noticed. I've heard some whispers from some of the teams that typically they'll have maybe the best player play defense mostly because sometimes it's the hardest position, but right there it does not matter as anyone is home for that goal, and right now Fruck is trying to double the lead.
Yeah, certainly. All these different strategies that teams have, it's very interesting, but sometimes strategy doesn't matter. You're just going to get these chances in Rocket League, and it's got to be guns blazing. You got to be ready to make the difference yourself. As Thick Soup tries to get a ball in, making a difference in this game, Big Soupy from the other end, and he gets it past the defender into the corner. Western Kentucky just not able to form a cohesive attack, though.
They're definitely trying, though, as right there, that was all three orange cars inside of the blue half. Not something you want to see if you're Maryland, but they really alleviated the pressure, alleviated the threat very well, as right now JD Knight's trying to set up his teammate Fruck, and that is just wide off of the goal. Great shot attempt, though.
Yeah, the Terps have done a really good job at hitting this frame here. They've converted 2 into goals, but they are getting very close. Should have more, as Fruck has a shot blocked by Big Soup. And now Miss tosses the ball off to his teammate Fruck, who gets the goal. That is a gorgeous play there from Mist.
When I first saw this, I'm like, oh, he's looking like he's trying to get a little too fancy, but not fancy enough, because that is a perfect pass up to Fruck. What a shot, what a pass. You can't say enough good things about that one.
I mean, I'm just trying to talk as words come into my head, and I frankly couldn't have told you what that was there. That just took a second to compute an error message in my brain. Just a perfect pass from Mist, who acts in place of the post, and he manages to get ahead of the Western Kentucky defender that might have cleared it, as JD Knight has his air dribble attempt there blocked by Thick Soup.
And the ball is constantly in this WKU half. It looks like Maryland Terrapins are adopting that old expression, a good defense is a good offense, a better offense even, because the way that they're defending right now is not letting WKU get it into their own half. And right here is a good shot attempt on goal. What an air bump! And that is a full team play as Maryland increased the lead to 3 and probably put this one on ice.
Yeah, that was a perfect little hit from JD Knight. He gets a bit of an extra kiss on the ball as well. Maybe not what he was going for, but it helps the ball on the frame. That bump, though, as you mentioned, incredible.
Yeah, good stuff coming out. And right now, it's probably the rest of this game is going to end out as a formality, as a 3-goal lead is a little bit, I won't say impossible, but you need a miracle to alleviate that in 10 seconds. And I don't know if WKU have a miracle in them, as right now it is just 2 up in the air. Maryland taking this series with a clean 3-0 sweep to improve their record on the season.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that one Western Kentucky goal in this Game 3 come from a Maryland error. The Terps, though, were able to clean things up, take care of business, earn the win, and the series victory. That's just a perfect showing from those Terps.
I mean, in and out is the only way that you can explain that one, Nolan, because they just got in, they played their best Rocket League that they've played, and they got out. That is a quick series, and, I mean, they took care of business rather swiftly.
Yeah, they certainly did. There was a big burger on the plate, and they just housed it. You know, they saw what they had to do. They did it. They were able to be efficient offensively. There was some creativity that we saw that we liked. Defensively, they were able to make the plays nearly every time. Those 2 goals against across 3 games are impressive. It doesn't matter what the record of the other team is. Players at this level of Rocket League can score. And if you're holding them to 2 goals across 3 games, that's almost as good as looking at this offensive display.
I was going to say, though, not to discount WKU at all, because they had those tinges, they had those glimpses, those flashes of excellence. They definitely did not want to go down without a fight, and they were pretty competitive for a good part of some of these games, but Maryland, they just played better. Honestly, at the end of the day, they played so good, edged it out, and that is an easy 3-0 victory.
Yeah, certainly. It's a perfect way for the Terps to head out of the studio here. And before we head out of the studio here, we have a few people to thank. Firstly, Recwell, the University of Maryland's Recreation and Wellness Center, for giving the program a home. Secondly, the Philip Merrill College of Journalism for giving us the physical home. And last but not least, Playwire, which has been so instrumental in helping this program get itself going. But from here in College Park, that's a clean sweep for the Terps Academy team. They're looking bright headed into the future. We're looking like we're going to have to just see you around here next time. But I'm Nolan.
I'm Nathan.
Those are JD Knight and Mist. And everybody, have a good night.
Have a good one.